The day to celebrate!
It's Friday! Hold on. Gotta go live on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn doesn't like us.
Screw you, LinkedIn.
Didn't like us the other night either.
Didn't.
Oh well.
So
I wasn't sure if we're celebrating out loud or not yet.
It's just Friday. We got new equipment where it's all good.
Ooh, still got to play with that.
It's like Christmas in October.
I still
It's
need
only
to get
October.
Happy Fun Friday, mother. Hey, y'all. So, good news for those that have decided to utilize the A or X being down for an excuse not to do anything with themselves. Excuse is off. Excuse is gone. Hey,
We're back in business, folks.
we never stop being in business. We
I
got
know.
the X3, which if you don't know what the X3 is yet,
Come experience
figure it
it.
out.
it's but in here. Tonal's in here. Shh. It's here. Now we can build the red room.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to get the SAT guys outie, then we can have more space, to which we need. Because we have a lot more people coming in. A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Wow.
Yep, it's a Friday.
Okay then.
So here we are. Welcome, welcome. We're going to talk about why are you possibly still having a little bit excess adipose tissue on your body to which you may not want.
We're going to talk about excuses everyone goes ahead and freely says.
So,
Like when machine's down in the fit lab.
right, which is amazing. People were trying not to come in. I got the X3, to which no one heard of. Guess what? No one heard of the A or X before me either.
Exactly.
Yep.
So the X3, if I bring it in, and we all bring it in, and stand behind it, it's got to be good.
You kind of stand on it.
For a reason.
It's got to be above and beyond, and using that with the vibration technology, it's above and beyond. Individuals are looking at it saying, oh, it's not a big deal. And they're dying. Holy
Some are even
jeez.
claiming it's tougher than an ARX workout.
Right, which leads me to believe if you think the X3 is tougher than the ARX workout, you're not pushing hard enough in the ARX. They should both be pretty equally as difficult.
Correct.
The only difference is the ARX is all the bells and whistles and graphs and charts and all that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The X3 just has, well, you're getting stronger.
AirX is now the warm up for the X3.
Yeah, $1,000. So when it comes to why do you have too much adipose tissue according to subjective you, or why are you fat? I know you've got a lot of things prepared that you want to talk about, but in reality, it's a mental condition.
Mhm.
It really is. It's a psychological condition, right? Beauty Brains Brawn,
Absolutely.
local Chantea, PhD girl.
Hey, you.
Hey, mental girl. No.
So legit, it is a difficult problem. Why is it we've had individuals who lost 30, 50 plus pounds, they say, you know what, I did it, I got this. We say, no, you don't. And they gain it all back.
It's not done with the mentality of it as a lifestyle.
On it, let me throw a positive
Yeah.
curveball because this is a shout out to our boy Pat.
Oh,
He dropped 50 pounds in less than 6 months, and then I sat there with him, and I loved his response. I asked him, so, what is your next goal?
Mhm.
He looked at me as blatant as could be. He's like, to lose the other freaking 50 pounds.
hell
Like,
yeah.
out of nowhere, very straight, no thought to it.
Nice.
That is not the mentality we're talking about. But thank you, Pat, for having that.
That's
Right.
the mentality that you need to get to where you want to be.
He'll be at 100 pounds in a year.
The toughest
Yeah.
part for
Crazy.
him is going to be, okay, accomplish that,
Mhm.
awesome, now what? Because without the now what, it comes back, going back to those old
Yes.
habits.
So it's creating a new way of thinking. It's changing your perception of yourself. It's changing your belief system. It's changing your
Yep.
habits. It's changing everything that becomes ingrained in your DNA, just like breathing. The way that you cook food, the way that you eat when you go out, the way that you exercise, it becomes second nature and you don't even think about it anymore. It's not a diet anymore.
Let me ask you this, Chantea. You competed in an NPC figure competition.
Did.
And then what?
And then I just kind of maintained. I didn't have to track my food. I didn't have to count my macros.
Let me
I
ask
just
you,
have
this is
to-
going to make all the women like, ew, I hate you. So you get down
I'm
to
used to it. Okay.
95, 100 pounds for competition.
Right.
and then you gain all the way back to 115, 120, right?
Yeah.
Look at all that weight gain. Oh my goodness, people, she gained 30 pounds.
20, 15, 20, whatever.
Yeah,
She's
14
proud,
to
right?
18 of that was water. And
So
Yeah.
now the competition was canceled, all of them for this year. Everyone wanted to go and sign up for.
Mm-hmm.
And now something's creeping in your mind of doing something different. New goals, right?
Who knew I would like to run?
Right. Something new.
Yeah, something new. You always need a goal. There has to be some motivating factor. You can't be extrinsically motivated to lose weight. My husband wants me to do it. My wife wants me to do it. My kids say I need to do this. My coworkers are getting promoted and I'm not.
Mhm.
That's not going to motivate you. Those external forces are only going to.
That's support, not the driving force.
It's not even that sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, at best.
Mhm.
Look at that.
Even with these goals, a lot of people will say, you know what? I heard this first thing this morning and no one should let me be around people. I don't have enough time.
Woohoo! I like hearing you talk about this one.
I don't have enough time. And you know what? I get that. Time is the most precious, most valuable asset that is something totally made up.
Yeah, you can't get more of it. I mean, what you have is equal to everybody else. It's how you use it.
So it's all about time management in that case, isn't it? What am I doing with my time? Am I playing on my phone for 6-10 hours? Everyone says no. Well, you check it. You are. The greatest thing in the world happened to me yesterday. There was this vertical vortex that caught my phone from my hand. It was so powerful, it swept it down onto the ground at a force, I'm guessing around 95 miles an hour. All right, that was probably back in the day. Probably 89,
It's not a vertical.
80, 90, but it was straight down in that type motion, pretty much like that. Shattered everywhere. Everywhere. It was destroyed. But I gotta tell you, it was great. It was refreshing. I'm driving now, and I actually haven't used MapQuest. It still exists, by the way.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Even to
Jeez.
do a little text back and forth with Chantea, I can go on the computer and pull up my texts and just type. But I'm going way off point here for our short 15 minutes. Is the fact that the phones, even on the texter, as I like to call it, those little three lines that go back and forth now, it makes you engage, it makes you stay on it. It's driven to keep you on that. All these little moments add up.
It pulls you out of what you're doing a lot. I catch myself sometimes. I hear a text, I hear my phone go off, I reach for it, and I'm like, I don't even know who the hell that is. Why am I in such a hurry to reach for it?
Right.
Finish the task. I mean, it's amazing how many times we all do that.
No offense to y'all out there, but I
I'm
have.
just that, y'all.
She's.
I know.
I have Chantea is the only alert I get on my phone. And you know what? Still, she's my girlfriend, so you know I gotta be engaged on that.
Yeah, but you still ignore it too. So when I actually need to get a hold of him, he's in my A all the time.
It works though. I see it work, at least from the outside. Very good.
Regardless, it's the time thing, and individuals like to use this as a crux constantly. If you really turn off your phone, put it under the covers, maybe a vortex will take care of it when the A or X is still not working. Actually, write out a list of priorities and importance, and then attack those things. You know, put the phone away. It's okay. You, as important as you are out there, Paris Hilton, you're not Paris Hilton, and she's not that important. So, bad reference. She was like too old nowadays.
No,
You're
it's too old. That
making a
really
point.
aged me, so we're good. I got you.
And yeah, we're still on the topic, by the way, of why am I still carrying excess adipose
In
tissues.
case you lost us somewhere, we're
No,
good.
these are the reasons, though.
It really
These are
is.
straight up the reasons.
Everything else is more important than yourself.
And as soon as you give one excuse and you accept it and fall into it, it's so much easier to do it again. It becomes a negative feedback loop. Because if something actually matters, time is never the problem. I mean,
Right.
if you had to, like, oh, I don't have an hour and a half to go to the Fit Lab and work out. If you had an hour and a half, but it was to go meet up with the new girl or guy that you're talking to, you're going to find that time.
If you go to a
It's
bar
priority.
and it's full, or a restaurant has a wait of 45 minutes, you're going to drive to another restaurant. You're going to go to another bar because that's important to
It's
you.
priorities.
What about here, and we've seen with the ARX here, people are using excuses, despite the fact that we're bringing in very expensive technology for them to use, that I was too tired to exercise.
One I like going back on is why can't you work out if you're tired? I mean, just to be plain and simple. Does it make it a little harder mentally? Yes, but there's no reason saying you can't do it. I mean, I think I can speak for you guys. We all here have exercised incredibly fatigued before. It happens. Yeah, I mean, it's part of the game plan.
And guess what? You feel actually invigorated and better about yourself when you're done.
And you get more energy from doing it habitually anyway.
He's a bitch. What about the fact that people say it's too expensive? It's too expensive to participate in this high-end nutrition program that includes the psychological aspect and badass biohacking skills, tips, and techniques that are not found at Jenny Craig or Weight Watchers, but they're very specific for the individual.
One, look at how much money you spent the last 2 years on healthcare. Probably going to be surprised with how much it's spending and how much you're going to save by taking care of yourself. Starting just 1 month at a time, you're going to make a lifetime habit, and you'll very quickly learn how to save the money from that. It's not too expensive.
Spending it on supplements you don't need, spending it on foods that you shouldn't be eating, spending it going out, spending it on any number of things that are going to tear down your health.
So I hear healthy food's too expensive, and it came down to actually when we did through the keto project, Burger King was actually more expensive to feed me in that month than the organic grass-finished beef.
Right.
Which did actually kind of surprise me, but only helped to push the point. And then people who told me before that things are too expensive, I somewhat asinine, I guess, in response asked them, oh, well then how much does it cost you per meal if it's too expensive? I know you calculated this. I've never gotten an answer. It's because we don't think about it. It's just something we throw out there as an excuse. Realize what it is that you tend to tell yourself to get out of things, so that way you have your own defenses to combat it next time it comes to your mind, to break that negative feedback loop.
What about the David excuse?
There's so many. I'm not sure which one you're referring to, Jim.
My wife had such a hard day.
You picked up that one exactly.
I figured that one out when I saw that one. My wife had such a hard day. I had to take her out to KFC and then the bar. But she has a hard day like a lot.
I didn't even know how to address this one. I just wanted to talk about it. Because do you have anything on this? It's just, I don't.
That's a lame excuse for you to go do something you're not supposed to do.
I had a rough morning, so I snorted cocaine.
That'll get your day going.
And then you die a week or two later because you're addicted and you
ran out of
do
time.
too much.
You should never let someone else's whatever's excuses interfere with your own progress.
Last time Danny had a bad day, I made her fat bombs. They tasted like chocolate, but they weren't. I had to go get.
I wonder if she sticks around.
Where's this guy? Why does she stick around? She's gone.
She didn't come back.
You're feeding me fat?
Yes. Point being, someone else has a bad day is no reason for you to sabotage yourself. And odds are, the person who said that to us knew this, and well, I don't think he expected us to call it out, but. Don't lie to yourself and don't lie to us. We're here to help you.
Let's go with 2 other reasons why people are still fat.
Okay.
How about healthy food tastes bad?
How the hell are you cooking it?
Right.
I
mean, everything that you've shown on Healthy Happy Hour is amazingly delicious. The dinner you made last night, chopped up steak with chopped up bacon.
No, steak.
There was steak in there. And it was covered in grass-finished beef. How do you go wrong with that? It was amazing.
We all eat incredibly well, and I enjoy everything I eat. There's a lot of junk food or things that other people eat. I don't know how they. Burger King, for example, was not tasty.
If you have fresh ingredients, fresh meats, fresh you don't need to add a lot to it to make it taste good. The people that say it doesn't taste good are full of artificial taste buds.
It's just
the palate has been warped from having the high sugar processed food diet. Go off for honestly a week and things will taste a lot different, better. You have far more taste buds, so to speak. Trust me, it's kind of cool.
Let's go with the last one. I look great for my age. So this is for those individuals. It doesn't really matter what age. People compare ages and say it's a justification. You know, I'm 65. I look great for my age. He's 55. He looks great for his age. Guess what? That person I just was told about, they look great for their age, nice arms and that. The other 55-year-old I know is shredded doing the X3 every day, eating a bunch of meat.
One,
Both are doctors.
so one, better shape than someone else, there's no basis, there's no scale to it, that's your own perception. If you're trying to put someone else down for you to feel good, it's going to warp the way you're thinking. Also, it doesn't matter how everyone else is. Are you healthy? Person I was thinking in reference to this is actually a family member of mine. And I remember hearing them say this. They had to go to the hospital a couple of weeks, like 2 weeks later for heart issues. They were not healthy. They just felt like they looked healthier than someone else, and their reason to go back and actually eat fast food. It's not a reason. You're just doing more damage to yourself, falling for what is you tell your things just because ultimately you're being lazy. And it doesn't do yourself any good.
Exactly. So these are a few of the reasons why you may still be carrying around more than you would like to. Why am I still fat? It's between the ears. It really,
Because
truly,
you haven't
genuinely
made
between
those
the ears.
changes. You haven't taken action. You haven't put yourself first. And that's the number one reason.
And so what can you do about this? Well, I married the expert and internationally recognized expert here. And I don't want to say Chantea has all the answers, but she does.
I'm right.
Yes, she is, wife. All right, let's wrap it up on this fun Friday.
Mm-hmm.
On Tuesday night, watch Chantea and I have more high-intensity interval sex and
You're airing that part this
eat
time?
food. We kind of aired it last time. We had the cameras a little high, but
Oh, okay.
all that good stuff. It'll be fun.
Facial reactions are always great. Yeah, Tuesday. Are we out? I think I'm out.
We're going to be out on this one. The Keto Project's movie. I've got more about Dr. Mike going up very shortly, his brain, and the confusion that I once thought was confusing, but it actually drives home my point, so it was a blessing in disguise. Thank you for being weird
We'll
behind your
see.
labs.
Yeah, the brain scan was. Which one was more interesting? Because we're using that word right now.
Find out on the Keto Project. All right. We out.
We out.
Bye bye.
Thank you as always for being with us. Mad Scientist, I am out. As always, live functionized.